Hello guys, so welcome to the Keeping Goals live Q&A. If you're not watching this live, this is a Q&A that we do around about this time every Thursday on the channel, where I can answer your questions, anything you might have about keeping goals, about goalkeeping, about football, about anything in general. Ella, nice to see you. Harley, hello. Ryan, good to see you. Paul, Aaron, hiya. Good to see you all. 24 of you already, 30 of you already, yes. Richard, Luke, good to see you. Martin, good to see you. Simon, Ivan, Matty, hello. Nice to see so many of you in here. Kai, hi, good to see you. Had quite a boost on the channel in the last week or so. The new video went down very well and I hope you all enjoyed it. Aaron, my team just signed Sanderberg. I've not heard of him, Aaron. Is he good? I hope he's good. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed last week's episode of Keeping Goals. Seems that you guys have enjoyed it. Lots of views on it, lots of new subscribers. So if you're new here, shout up, say hi. It'll be good to see you. Anyway, this is where I answer your questions about anything you might have. First of all, if you are a patron, and the link to become a patron is in all my videos, you get to ask a question first before anyone else. Better than Bruno. I hope not, Aaron. But if you ask a question as a patron, you get your question answered first before everyone else. And Reis, who is a patron, has asked, which league would you like to play in and why? Which is quite an interesting question because there's loads of leagues I want to play in. I think when you look at the top leagues, everyone says, they want to play in the Premier League, they want to play in La Liga, and I'd love to play in those leagues. But I'd like to play in the A-League in Australia. I'd love to play in the MLS in America. I'd love to play in the Italian leagues, the German leagues, the Swiss leagues, Austrian leagues, the Japanese leagues. I want to play all over the place and learn new styles of football, develop my game, learn new football cultures, live in different places. So I wouldn't say there's one league that I want to play in the most, but there's some of the ones I mentioned I'd love to play in one day. Right, so guys, shoot with your questions. How different is Spanish football to English football from Reis? One thing I say about the difference with Spanish football and English football, obviously playing in Gibraltar now, which is neither, but having played in both English and Spanish football, there is more of a focus on technical ability at the levels that I've played at in Spanish football than there are in English football. I've played in English football not at the highest level. I've played at a club that were in League Two in the conference, and then obviously with Loughborough Uni, and then in Spanish football with Rayo Vallecano and Fuenlabrada, which were at a higher level within the Spanish pyramid. But in Spain, there is not as much emphasis on kind of physical ability. So at Fuenlabrada, we would do gym sessions for maybe maximum 2 hours a week. Whereas in England, especially at Loughborough when I was there, we did a lot of gym work. Instead of Fuenlabrada, all the focus is on your technical ability on the pitch. That was where they were focused on. So I'd say between the two, Spain has probably got a bigger focus on technical ability and aren't as bothered about the physical ability of the players. How do you deal with big games, first game of the season? Just enjoy it, Ella, relax. It might take you some time to settle in and get going, but your first game is always good because you've missed it. And I think use that adrenaline, use that excitement to go and give it your best and then learn from it and go on to the next one. Don't think about it too much. Someone said, what's your best attribute? For me, I think I'm always trying to develop different areas of my game. I've always enjoyed shot stopping. It's always been an important area in my game because as a kid, as a goalkeeper, that's what you mainly focus on, just diving around, making saves. And that's always been a strong area in my game. But I think in general, my attribute of just being consistently dedicated to improving myself has helped me to progress where others haven't. I'm not the most talented goalkeeper. I wasn't the person at 8, 9, 10 years old where they think he's going to be in the Premier League. It was never me. And I don't have an attribute where you go from when I was a kid where you were like, he was going to be a superstar. Instead, I just consistently improved what I knew I needed to improve, and that's taken me so far, and it will keep taking me forward. So I think that determination and dedication to getting better is actually my best attribute instead of anything physical or technical. What do you think of the new Adidas gloves, Matty? I haven't obviously seen them in person. I haven't worn them. I've seen the promos. I've seen a few channels doing reviews of them. I think gloves are always trying to find something new and find something breaking to change the way that gloves are made. And I think it's probably another one of them. I think if they're good, then you've seen a few of the keepers actually wearing them now. So that's a bit different than, say, the Nike gloves, where not actually many pro keepers wore them. But yeah, interesting design. We'll see if it sticks around. How can you implement Mamba mentality to help you as a goalkeeper? Well, obviously, horrific news with Kobe Bryant and everyone else who was involved in the accident, and very, very sad. But his legacy of kind of Mamba mentality is something you can take into anything, not just sport, not just goalkeeping, but any area of your life, about continually improving. Something I go on about all the time, and it was something that he just said: make sure you're getting better every day. So that's all you got to do. Identify the areas of your game that you've got to get better at, and get better every single day. How do you make your defenders listen to you? Ivan, I think if I had some of my defenders here, they'd probably tell you that they don't. You have to not just shout at them. You can't just continually shout things that aren't going to help them. You have to try and structure your information in a way that's going to benefit them. So things that they might not see, actually short, succinct information that they can absorb quickly, not just noise. So things that are actually very important and to the point. And over time, if they're realizing that you're giving them good information, they will start to listen to you. How many days do you train a week to go to the gym? Ella, I normally, at the moment in season, I'll go to the gym twice a week to do strength sessions, and then once to do a recovery session. So 3 times, but 2 gym sessions. I normally do it on a Monday and a Wednesday if my game's on a weekend, and then the day after a game I'll go and just do recovery, which is just stretching, foam rolling, bike, that kind of thing. But my strength sessions will be more high intensity. How do you kick a long ball with your weak foot? Richard, all weak foot stuff, don't worry about the distance. The first thing you have to concentrate on is getting the technique right before you aim for kicking it a long way. So practice over a short distance that you get the correct strike with your weak foot. Do that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Once you've got that technique, then you can build up the difference. If you build up the distance, sorry. If you try and kick it a long way straight away, you're going to get frustrated and probably end up hurting yourself because you're not kicking it with the right technique. So focus on getting the technique right first and then build up the distance. But it'll take hundreds of repetitions, but that's just practice. Is it hard to stay concentrated in a game when you don't have much? What's the most important thing to do? I've always said, from when I was a kid, I was like, just follow the ball. People always ask me when I was a kid, what do you do when you haven't got the ball? And I was like, just watch the ball wherever it goes. And that is something that can help, but you also have to scan what your defence are doing. Talk to them at the same time. Communicating with your defenders, your midfielders, even your attackers can help you stay involved in the game, even if the ball's not close to you. And combining that with being ready for if something were to happen, like a through ball, that's the way that you stay concentrated. If I don't read your question out, just copy it and send it again, because so many come through. I try my best. Play for a really good team, and up to recently the only goalkeeper. We signed a goalkeeper 6'5". Sorry, I didn't see the end of that one. Shoot that one again. Do you get free KA gloves? KA or Cali are my sponsors, so those are the gloves that I wear for this season. Obviously, you guys have seen them in all the videos, and they are some of the best gloves that I've ever worn. If you want a pair, make sure you use a discount code O'Keefe and get yourself 10% off. How to be better being smaller? Simon, story of my life, mate. The thing you have to do as a smaller goalkeeper when you're competing with bigger goalkeepers is you have to recognise that there's things you can't control. They are going to be taller. They might be able to take a ball higher to begin with. What you have to focus on is controlling the things that you can control. Make sure every training session you train harder than them. You put in more reps, you put in more work. You focus more on the things that you need to improve. You do more distribution training. You're both the same. The ball is the same with your feet as it is with his feet. Doesn't matter that he's 6'5". Make sure you're better at distribution. Make sure you're better at communicating with your defence. Make sure your positioning within the goal is better. Make sure your assessment of crosses, your takeoff, your timing is better. even as a smaller goalkeeper, you can take a ball higher than a taller goalkeeper if your spring, your power is better, your time is better. So all these things you can control, make sure you're better than him at. Then it's their choice if they want to pick the better goalkeeper or the taller goalkeeper. And I'm pretty sure every coach would pick the best goalkeeper. So focus on the things you can control and be the best at all of them, and then they've got no option but to play you. What's the best value for money for reverse stitch gloves? I'm not quite sure. I'm not so much of a glove expert to know what you mean by reverse stitch. I think you mean the hole in one, and I haven't worn hole in one gloves for years because I've obviously been wearing Calio gloves recently, and for me, these new technologies aren't as important as actually having a solid glove that holds everything very well, very durable, good grip, and you don't need to be all fancy with it. So I'd look at the ones where actually they're getting proper reviews and a good reputation within the goalkeeping community, not just the new marketing ploys of big companies. Highest level you've played in England? Jack, I was with Macclesfield Town in the conference when I was 18, 19. I then went to Loughborough University, who played at step 5 non-league, but played in the Premier League of university football. And when I left Loughborough University, I came to Gibraltar. So I haven't played in a professional English club since I left for university. So that was 5 years ago. So it's been a different career, but I'm sure I'll be back there at some point. What's the best way to get a trial with a non-league club? Paddy, try and figure out the clubs which are near you in your area. A lot of non-league clubs will be keen to get players in on trial or get players in for training, especially goalkeepers, because they might not have enough goalkeepers. So if you can find out the non-league clubs that are in your area, just send them an email, ring them, even go down and visit them in person. Just say who you are, where you've played, say, is there any chance I could come in and train a couple of nights? And I'm sure that you'll get some positive feedback from at least one of them. But it's about you being proactive and contacting them. Your opinion on the Greek league? Ooh, interesting. I've not actually watched much Greek league football. I've obviously watched the Greek teams in the Champions League and the Europa League, but I haven't watched Greek football as a whole. I'd love to play in Greece, incredible country, and I'm very, very passionate fans from what I've seen. So it'd be amazing to play there one day. Signing on deadline day. Enjoy it. If you're going into a new team, don't worry about pressure. Don't worry about trying to impress. Don't worry about anything else. Get used to your new team and try and set off at the same level that you have been playing the whole time. Concentrate on yourself. Concentrate on improving. Concentrate on getting better. Don't worry about expectation or fitting in or anything like that. That'll come. Just enjoy playing and show them what you can do. Could you play National League in England? I'd love to play National League in England, Bob. I'm sure I will one day. I'm not sure when, but I'm sure I will. How to handle nerves before a game? Callum, everyone gets nervous. I get nervous. I'm sure Alisson, De Gea, I'm sure they all get nervous. About managing it is obviously important. What you need to do is try and work out a routine for how you prepare before games. I talk in my videos a lot about a mental prep. So visualization that you can do, imagery that you can do, watching past highlights of yourself, things that get you in a good frame of mind before you perform so that you're ready. You've played hundreds of games, you know how to play football, you know how to play goal. Just deal with the situation that happens as best as you can. And that's all you can do. There's worst comes to worst, you lose and you play again soon. So I think Dani Alves said we're just kids playing football. That's all it is. We're just playing a game that we enjoy. So go out and show what you can do and enjoy it. My muscles are tight. Any advice, James? Try and drink as much water as you can. Try and stretch. Use a foam roller. I use a pulse roll, which I've shown in some of my videos. The link to that is in the description of all my videos. That really helps with muscle tightness. But it's mainly your diet, your sleep, and what you're drinking will help get rid of that. Obviously, stretching will help too. Paddy, I answered your question about getting a trial in non-league. Have you tried the Black Friday KA gloves? I haven't, Matty, actually. Those are ones that I haven't tried, but they do look amazing. Do you know who Airbus UK? I know Airbus, yeah, of course I do. Big club. Stopped me from playing for 2 years. I think when you're out for such a long period of time, you have to focus on your health first. So if it is the fact that you have to have that operation, then that's obviously very frustrating. But concentrate on getting your health right. Make sure that you're okay, because there's no point playing football if it's going to hurt you even more. So make sure you have your operation, do everything properly, recover fully, and you're still young, so then you can go back and play afterwards. But concentrate on getting healthy first. James, what diet is best for tight muscles? James, eat well. Don't eat McDonald's all the time. Eat vegetables. Eat your carbohydrates. Eat your protein. Recovery. Protein's good for your muscle rebuild, so make sure you're eating that too. You have to have a balanced diet. Do goalkeepers need cardio like outfield players? Have a think. So, do you run the same amount of distance as a centre midfielder? No. What you do as a goalkeeper is very short, very fast, explosive periods of exercise. For example, Usain Bolt, when he runs 100 metres, needs a different type of cardio to Mo Farah when he runs a marathon. They still need to be very cardiovascularly fit. So your training as a goalkeeper will have to be in the terms of shorter periods of time, but high intensity. So things like sprints, both on the bike, on the treadmill, and on the road, whatever you want to do. If you want to build that up, try and focus it on how you actually play and not just run for hours and hours and hours, because you wouldn't do that in a game. I always use a negative cut gloves. What would you suggest? In my last episode of Keeping Goals, I talked about the gloves that I'm wearing at the minute, which are the hybrid gloves from KA, and they're incredible. So give that a watch if you haven't watched the vlog from last weekend. But those are the ones I'm wearing at the minute, and they're brilliant. How to work on kicks from the ground. Lawrence, practice, mate. Practice. Repetition over and over and over again. That's all it is. Both feet, working on your technique, getting it better. I'm 5'8". Do you think it's a disadvantage? See it as I'm good at taking lower balls and they're better at high. Even when you're a smaller goalkeeper, I talked about this earlier in the stream, just concentrate on what you can control. Concentrate on the things you can develop. Make sure that you're the best that you can possibly be at all the areas you can get the better at. And then when you're up against a taller goalkeeper, you might be technically a better goalkeeper. There have been plenty of smaller goalkeepers who have been extremely successful. So control the controllables. Do you have Science in Sport energy gels? Bob, I don't. I know plenty of players that do. And some of them have said how much it helps, but I don't personally. Top 5 goalkeepers around the world. Ooh, Brandon, good question. For me, Ter Stegen, Oblak, Alisson are the top 3 at the minute, and I wouldn't know, maybe another 2. I'm not sure, but those are my top 3. De Gea is having an up and down season, but he is a very, very, very good goalkeeper. If you couldn't play goalkeeper, what position would you play? And what standard do you think you could play in that position? I used to play centre mid when I was a kid, but I used to run all over the place. So I'd be left back 1 minute, right wing another minute. I'd probably in terms of my distribution, I quite like that in centre midfield where you're moving the ball, you have the full pitch to play. So yeah, I'd probably say centre midfield. I'm not sure what level I could get to. I'd have to start all over again as a kid, and I'm sure I'd try my best. Which league would you love to watch? I love watching the Premier League because that's from where I'm from. I love watching La Liga too. That's one of my favourite leagues to watch. How old are you? I am 24 years old. Right, I need to go because I've got training very, very soon. So, last couple of questions, and then I shall unfortunately have to head off. How does your league compare to English leagues in standard? Bob, it's very, very varied. So you have teams at the top in Gibraltar who play Champions League, Europa League qualifiers, lads who have played Football League in England, who have played lots of European club games, played international football, and then you have lads lower down the leagues who probably wouldn't get into a few non-league teams back in England. So it is very, very varied, and it's not really easy to compare the league to one particular league. But there are some very good players and very good teams, and it's really helping me to kick on and improve. Thank you, Ella. That's kind of you. Tiempo's best on the market. I wear Tiempos. I love wearing Tiempos. Very good boots. Do you wear padding under your kit? Yes, Dominic, I do. I wear Kipster undershorts, which are very good padding from Decathlon. They're very cheap. I'm not sure if they'll still sell them. And I wear a McDavid under top, which is padded as well because we train on AstroTurf, so padding is very important. So that's it, I'm afraid. Sorry if I didn't answer your question, I apologise. But we do this stream every Thursday, so feel free next week, jump back on, send your question, and I will try and answer it. If not, if there's anything I can help with, send me a message on Instagram and I'll try my best to help. But thank you guys for watching, I really appreciate it. I will see you on Sunday for the next episode of Keeping Goals. But thank you for watching. Have a great week. Keep smashing it as always. Thank you for your questions, and I'll see you on Sunday. Speak to you in a bit, guys. Thank you very much.